In Kirkliston, they're claiming a wedge of Forth Bridge history belongs exclusively to them. Of the men and boys who helped construct the bridge in the 1880s, a good many lived in digs in nearby Kirkliston, and they lived, almost without dietary exception, on cheese pieces made up the night before by the landladies of Kirkliston. To this day, the village is known as Cheesetown, and Bill Blain, 60 years old, is a Cheesetown boy, one of several trying to ensure the village doesn't miss out on the bridge centenary.
The workmen said they never got anything else but cheese on their pieces, as they called them then. Pieces in the traditional piece box, the shape of the old plain loaf, round at one end and flat at the other.
And you proudly like to think that because of this diet of traditional Scottish cheese, these men went out, the men and boys went out onto the bridge, and they did a sterling job on it.
Oh, they did a good day's work, I think. Not for a good day's pay, probably, but they certainly did a good day's work. And I've no doubt the cheese helped quite a bit.
Lucy Bowmaker was a Cheesetown landlady, and on her doorstep she confirms the widely held view that Kirkliston got its nickname from the sandwiches of 100 years ago. The notion is far from stale.
Oh, well, as far as it goes, it says that the men had just cheese on the pieces, and like that's how it got its name, Cheesetown.
Now, many, many years later, when you were a landlady, long after the bridge went up, did you too give your visitors cheese pieces?
No, nothing like that. It was just bed and breakfast.
Generations of Kirkliston folk have digested the Cheesetown story without a piece of protest. But if local historian David Whyte is correct, it could be a case of very hard cheese indeed. A more likely source for the nickname, he respectfully suggests, is bound up with the fact that Rabbie Burns tarried a while in Castle House, Kirkliston, en route to the Highlands, and the evidence may have been left on a window long since removed.
It had lines scratched on it, presumably by the poet, and they run like this. The ants about a clod employ their care and think the business of the world is theirs. Lo, waxen combs seem palaces to bees, and mites conceive the world to be a cheese. So, older people in the village, including some of the people who lived in Castle House at one time, always pointed to that last line as the origin of Cheesetown.
Donald Whyte may be out on a historical limb, but agrees the Forth Rail Bridge version is a nice story, and there's no harm to be had in trying to commemorate the bridge centenary. But for 77-year-old Alex Arbuckle, from a family of 11 Cheesetown boys and girls, the bard has to take a back seat. And he'll sing you the song of Kirkliston, immortalising the men and the boys and their cheese sandwiches of a century ago on the high girders.
We are the Cheesetown boys, we are the Cheesetown boys. We mind our manners, we spend our tanners. We are respected wherever we go. When we go walking up the Winsborough Road, all the doors are open wide. We can dance, we can sing, we can do the Highland play. We are the Cheesetown boys.